Yo, in today's video, we'll be looking at spiritual TikToks that are going to raise those vibrations.
Give people time to think. Damn. I can't put my wallet up at the register. I can't think on the Zoom meeting. Hello, are you there? Yes, can I think? Can I process, please? Then you wonder why people walk around with so much anxiety. They walk around because you expect for everything to just be 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. This ain't no TikTok video. I need to take some time. What do y'all do? Rehearse this stuff in y'all head before y'all do it? Like, what is going on? What is going on? The fact that people want you to regurgitate information so fast is beyond me. And literally, you would think that I'm talking about like a minute done gone past. You almost scrolled. That was 3 seconds. It was 3 seconds. Slow down. Slow down. For the sake of me, you, and everybody else. Slow the hell. This is why we all busy and ain't nobody actually doing nothing. Just running from here to there, going nowhere. Then you wonder why you're depressed. You're depressed because literally you think something was supposed to arrive yesterday that's not actually due for you until a year from now. The world teaches you to chase when really you should be attracting. And when you attract, you know that you have to go slow so you can know that it's in you. The reason why you're going fast is because you don't know. Because once you know, then you understand why you got to go slow.
Once you know, you understand that you got to go slow. Hey, does anyone else feel like their attention span is like basically shot? Like you can't pay attention to nothing? Like go try to read a page out of a book and you probably can't get past the first paragraph? Man, it's a lot of people dealing with that right now.
I want to take my brain out of my head and rinse it in ice water, and I think that would be really, really nice. It would just be like refreshing, and maybe like clean out all the gunk, because there's definitely like gunk up there. Also, I would like to do the same thing with my eyeballs, just like pop them out, put them in some ice water, and put them back in my head. I feel like I would literally see so crisp. Also, do they still do lobotomies? And how bad would it be?
Not to minimize whatever you're going through, but I feel like a lot of us are taking for granted the blessings that we have when we have a tough day and we're able to come home to shelter, warmth, food, water, family, with your life, with your heart still beating. In this life, in this world at the moment, that is such a blessing in every capacity. And we're even privileged enough to have such things as heating, water, food, to be such a normal thing for us that we take it for granted. There's people who haven't even known a life like yours, haven't even been given the chance to have a life like yours. Even as I sit here recording this, someone had to die to make this phone. Thousands, millions. And I know you've been seeing people say use filters. Even if you don't post, you can just post it in your private. I know you've been seeing it. Now you have no excuse because they're all right here. Free Congo, free Sudan, and free Palestine till it's blood clot backwards. Is it?
Free Congo, free Sudan. Yo, no lie. Has anyone else ever thought that? Who made all of these streets? Who mapped it out? How long did it take them? It's just like they built up this whole America that fast. It's places in the world that still don't have streets yet. Crazy stuff.
I'm gonna be honest, at this big age, I don't have the capacity for friends who don't hear from me in a long time and automatically get mad or get defensive. How about if you don't hear from me in a long time, you send me a voice note saying you miss me? How about if you don't hear me in a long time, you call me excited and give me updates on your life? Baby, I've been going through the mountains and shallows of the valley of death, and you talking about I'm acting funny. I don't have time. I do not.
Yeah, people be on one nowadays. Yo.
Listen, don't ever feel like you're rubbish. Don't ever feel like you're not important. You might not be important to human beings, but the fact that the motion detector detects that someone's walking past, that in itself should ring bells. Like, the fact that the automatic door is starting to open when you're about to enter a store, like, that should actually ring bells, because what? Your presence is literally known. And when you think about it like that, it's like, wow.
Yeah, very true.
There was a time in my life where I was just chronically way too aware of everything. And I know that sounds very counterintuitive based on everything I post, where it's like, be aware of this, be aware of this, be aware of this. But the thing that no one talks about when exposing all these things, that if you think about them too much, you will drive yourself mad and the quality of your life will decrease, which is weird because you're trying to increase the quality of your life by being more aware and being healthier and avoiding all these things that are so bad for you. But the thing is that 98% of the population doesn't think the way you think. So you're gonna drive yourself fucking mad looking at all these people that you think are just like brain dead, because you're like, how do you not understand what's going on right now? Especially when it comes to food, you're like, oh my God, this has seed oils, this has sugar, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Water, you're like, oh my God, I can't even drink water. Oh my God, plastic, everything. You will literally drive yourself crazy and the quality of your life will fall down the toilet. I went through this for like 8 months where I was just like, I overthought about everything, overanalyzed everything. And it came to the point where I just had to like chill out a little bit. I have to realize that I can be aware of all these things, but trying to avoid them and escape them is just, it's not possible right now. It's not. So if you're someone who's super over analytical, has to be perfect with everything that they touch and put into their body, dude, if you're aware of all these things, you're better off than a majority of the population. You know, a majority of the population doesn't even have a fucking clue. So relax a little bit. You're young.
No, for real though, man. You got to be a strong-minded person to really go down that journey of like just trying to cut out everything that's bad, because everything's bad. Even the air you breathe in is bad, you know. And so if you really think about it, man, you know, if you are one of those people, you'd be upset just to go outside because you don't want to breathe in the air. You know, you don't even want to drink the water because you don't know what's good for you. Is it spring water? Is it purified water? Is it bottled water? Is it tap water? Is it distilled water? Should I do my own water? It's a lot of stuff you got to think about. So like I said, you got to be a strong-minded person to go down this journey.
When someone makes me feel misunderstood, I don't want to explain myself to them. I want to start banging my head into the wall until my skull starts showing and my face is bloody. And I want to scream to them and say, "You look at what you've done! I've gone fucking mad!" That's how I want to explain myself to somebody.
Dang, who drove her mad?
You guys do realize that in 25, 30 years, maybe even sooner, Hollywood is going to start making movies about Palestinians. They're going to start writing stories inspired by the Palestinian struggle to gain their liberation. They're going to have a superhero, and the superhero's villain origin story is going to be that they're from Gaza, and that their entire family was killed due to the Israeli airstrikes, and that they witnessed their entire home and everyone and everything they love collapsing in front of them. That's going to be a real thing. And people are going to watch movies, and they are going to have the same reaction that people did in the 80s and the 90s when Hollywood was making Holocaust movies. How could something like this have happened? How did humanity allow such destruction and heartbreak to take place? And you're all going to lie to your kids and say that you stood on the side of Palestine, the exact same way that your grandparents lied about supporting civil rights or supporting gay rights. Except the only difference is we now have a digital footprint, and you won't be able to lie. There is actual proof of you liking posts on Instagram that say, "I stand with Israel. I support Israel and its right to protect itself against terrorist attacks." You won't be able to lie. You won't be able to get away with it.
I think she's speaking facts. There's going to be some movies out here.
Oh, God. Oh!
No! The people that vibrate the highest have been through the most hell. Let me say that again. The people that are vibrating the highest energetically have been through the most hell. Like you, for example. You vibrate very high. You're looking good. You smelling good. You know how to talk. Maybe you got a great personality. You know how to dress. Maybe you drive a nice car. You know how to make people feel good. Something about your energy is magnetic. And people will look at you and say, wow, you are so lucky. How did you become so happy and positive and abundant? And you'll say thank you, but in your mind, you're thinking, you have no idea what I've been through. They weren't with you when you went through the dark night of the soul. They weren't with you when you cried yourself to sleep. They weren't with you when you went through many nights of pain alone. They weren't with you when your heart broke into a million pieces. You had to put it back together just so you wouldn't die. They didn't see that part. They only see you now, vibrating very high. That's why I say the people that vibrate the highest have been through the most. So there's a few things that I want you to understand. You don't just get here vibrating high energy, fulfillment, and happiness without suffering first.
No, facts, because how would you know what happiness and all of these feelings are if you've never experienced any type of suffering or any type of stress or anxiety or any of these things? You have to experience these things to know the opposite.
There's a few things you're going to have to go through before you get here, because you won't even be able to appreciate the views from the top unless you have been on the bottom. And that's why people that are happy and they're vibrating high and they're abundant and they're magnetic, they're able to maintain that state because they know where they were before. And that cultivates a level of appreciation.
Just because you spend time alone does not mean you're dating yourself. Dating yourself requires commitment. I think like 8 months ago, I started to actually get into a relationship with myself. And that's when I really learned that I've been cheating on myself this whole time. I've been very unfaithful to myself. I've yelled at myself. I've shamed myself, constantly bickering with myself. And none of that really came to light until I finally said to myself that I'm going to shoot my shot with myself and actually date myself. Actively do things out of love for myself. Plan in advance for myself. Take care of myself. Say nice things to myself. Validate myself, especially when I feel bad. Pull myself out of situations that don't treat me right. And over time in that relationship, I realized that I'm low-key starting to fall in love with myself. Anyways, take a chance on yourself because you might just end up falling in love.
Okay, it's 2024. We got to date ourselves. No lie.
Honestly, y'all, the formula to stop being depressed and broke and bummy has been sitting in front of us this entire time. Being depressed, being broke, it's not cash money. You can't take over the 99s and the 2000s if you're feeling depressed. So I'm going to tell you this scientific study that has been sitting in front of us this whole time that tells us exactly how to stop being broke and stop being depressed. Some of y'all is waking up in the morning and you're just going. You're not hopping out the bed and you're definitely not turning your swag on. Some of y'all is hopping out the bed, but you're not turning your swag on, and I can tell. And that's the reason why you're feeling depressed. And it's definitely the reason why you're feeling, as a result, broke. You understand what I'm saying? Some of y'all is turning your swag on, but you didn't even hop out the bed yet. You're laying under the covers, laughing, scrolling on TikTok, giggling, raising up your girl, rubbing your feet together like a cockroach. You didn't even come out the bed yet. Yeah, maybe you feel like your swag is on, but did you hop out the bed? Now, the key connector, this is what bridges the gap. He hopped out the bed, he turned his swag on, and then he looked in the mirror and said, what's up? He was unable to look in the mirror and say what's up until he hopped out the bed and turned his swag on. One cannot happen without the other. Once that happened, what did young Soldier Boy, the philosopher, say? He was getting money. Like and follow for more hacks.
Yo, Young Soldier, the philosopher. Shout out to Young
Your
Draco.
social anxiety will go away once you realize that everyone is pretending. You know when you're at a club and you're looking around and everyone looks so casual and natural, they're dancing, they're laughing, and you're just like kind of standing there awkwardly. And in your head, you're like analyzing every move. You're like, okay, that person's dancing that way. Like maybe if I try to dance like that, then people will like me. And then you just kind of stand there analyzing everybody throughout the night and you don't really talk to anyone or have any fun. What you're failing to realize is everybody that is there having fun, talking to people, they all went through a very similar process to what you're trying to go through. Like they learned their mannerisms, they learned how to dance, they learned what to say. They probably went through a really awkward phase when they were learning those things where they just kind of looked like an idiot. But they just repeated the same thing over and over until they kind of grew into it. And eventually they become like a charismatic, carefree looking person. But again, they were once where you are right now. So the anxiety will go away quickly once you just start getting more reps at trying to be carefree and casual. So you just have to start by making the decision like, okay, I'm just going to dance, or I'm going to talk to people. I'm just going to do this, even if I look like an idiot. And you probably will look like an idiot a little bit, but it doesn't really matter because eventually you're going to keep doing that and forget that you ever looked like an idiot, and it'll just be normal to you.
Yo, no lie. You got to go through them things, man. A lot of people are scared to be embarrassed, you know, and that's okay. But you got to get over that, you know, if you really do want to achieve anything in life.
I'm going to go off on a tangent, but I really don't care. People act so confused when we say that having children is the most selfish thing that you could ever do in this life. Because anytime you have children, it is a selfish act. You are only thinking about yourself. Or most times you're not thinking at all. I want my kids to grow up in a 2-parent home. I want my kids to have all the nice things. You are craving something for somebody that's not even here because you really want it for yourself. A lot of people grow up in broken homes, and it is what it is. Y'all are out here having kids to repair your inner child. And I don't think y'all even see that. You want this magical childhood for your children, but the reality is you really want it for you. You want them kids to have everything that you didn't have because why? You want to repair your fuck ass childhood. And you are doing that by having kids. That is insane. Go to therapy. Then y'all get with people who would never make good parents, but you like them. The reality is y'all don't give a fuck about kids. Y'all really don't, because if you did, you would go out and adopt. But you're not going to do that because you want a child that's going to look like you. Again, very selfish, very vain. Y'all are literally birthing kids into a world that is on fire just so you can repair your fuck ass childhood.
Do we got a point? Let me know.
If you believe in God, then you need to be careful about the expectations that you place on your life. I'm going to explain why in this little visual. I got a chart. Just came out of nowhere on you, didn't I? All right, so when we have an expectation in life, let's just say we're trying to get from point A to point B. Hopefully that B, oh, it is backwards. Okay, anyways, when you're trying to get from point A to point B, this is your expectation, right? But when you have an expectation for your passions, there is a limitless amount of possibilities for your life that God can give you. But you won't be happy with any of these because you have an expectation of what you want to outcome, or of the outcome you want in your life. So when you place that expectation, you're like, I want to get from point A to point B. That's it. That's all. And you're telling God, this is what I want. But God says there's so many other things that I will give you. But if this is what you want, so be it. I personally don't like having expectations because when I'm operating out of love, out of the true passions of my heart, anything that comes from it is a blessing. Anything. But if you have an expectation, anything below your expectation will cause depression. I call this the valley of depression because anything that falls below your expectation is going to make you feel upset. It's not what you expected. But if it goes above your expectation, then it'll be above your expectation. It'll make you happy. But oftentimes, what happens is when you have an expectation, once you've met that expectation, you kind of give up. You're like, oh, okay, I got what I was expecting. Everything's all good. Some people don't stop. Some people get more blessings. But, you know, sometimes people fall off right after they get what they're expecting and they miss out on everything above it, which is also limitless because God is limitless and powerful. So what I like to do is put my expectations right here on this baseline at the floor. Right on that baseline. Because anything above that is a blessing. And it gives me the opportunity to enjoy all of the limitless blessings that God will provide. And this is biblically backed. Go look at the Lord's Prayer again. Jesus taught the disciples how to pray. He said, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Pause right there. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Not my will be done. Not my expectation will be done. Thy will be done. And if you're operating in your God-given purpose and your God-given talent, then God will bless you. It doesn't, necessarily say that he'll bless you abundantly off rip. He might bless you down here at the bottom, because maybe there's some things that you got to learn. Maybe there's some skills that you got to perfect. So you're not going to get this abundant blessing up here just yet. You still got some things to work on. But after you get this blessing, you show some gratitude. You're thankful. You learn a little bit. You grow. You get something better. You learn a little bit. You grow. You get something better. You learn a little bit. You grow. You learn some more. The progress keeps going, but there was no expectation. So the blessings that come in, you're grateful for every single one of them, instead of sitting there moping about something that was below your expectation. It opens up your happiness, and it opens up your gratitude window, because you're grateful for everything above nothing. Everything above nothing. So all I'm trying to say is, set your expectations low and watch how everything exceeds your expectations. It'll open up your happiness, it'll open up your gratitude, and it'll open up your thankfulness to God, because God blesses people in a multitude of different ways. You just got to be open and grateful for everything that he provides. And more will be added unto you, because you're grateful for everything that you have. Anyways, that's all I got for this video. So until next time, guys, love you.
Yo, shout out to Joshua Woodard. For real. You got to get rid of those expectations. I also don't like to have expectations, and I don't like when people put expectations on me. It's just not healthy, in my opinion. But yeah, these are some of the most spiritual TikTok videos that are out there. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe, turn your notification bells on, and until next time, YouTube, peace.